Hi y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining. Today I have a grande haul of Torrid size 6 clothes to share with you, so if you are interested in seeing what I picked up, stay tuned. If you're a frequent Torrid shopper like I am, you probably know already that they recently had Torrid Cash eligibility, and I made it my mission to spend every last dollar of my Torrid Cash. For size reference in Torrid clothes, I'm a size 6 or 30 on bottom, and in fact I'm on the larger end of a size 6. A lot of their bottoms don't work for me, or the jeans, or the more narrow cut cargo pants and things like that typically don't work for me at all. In the top, I'm more of a 5 or a 6. I wear a size 46 double D, 48D, or 50C bra, depending on the fit, and I am about 5'4". The first item I have to review for you is called the Tiered T-Length Dress Chiffon and Lurex. It is in the color white. I did order a size 6. This dress is prettier in person than I expected, although since it said it had Lurex, I assumed that the little tiny stripes you could see in the photos were probably shiny. In fact, they are. My camera doesn't pick that up terribly well either, but these are a really pretty coppery rose gold stripe that really shines and shows as you move around in the dress. Up close from farther away, it does just look like a cream or an ivory color. This dress has a couple of tiers, and the lower tier has a little bit of a lace trimming. The top of this dress was a little more plain cut with smocking and back adjustable straps. I personally found the bust seams to fit a little strange. They were far apart. The seaming was a little far apart for where the apex of my bust aligns. I couldn't get the fit quite right. Not to mention the top just seemed a little shapeless. So it wasn't my favorite. There was something funny about the smell of the polyester lining that I also didn't care for, and I didn't like the fabric overall. This was a crinkly chiffon type fabric with a little bit of a texture, really sheer and lightweight. I was wearing nude undergarments and I could still see them through the lining and through the dress. So I think this is one you'd have to be really careful for, or possibly, unfortunately, need even a full slip underneath, especially if you were wearing it for something like a wedding or an event. The cut of the dress seemed like it should have been made out of more of a gauzy, cottony fabric, which is what I expected when I bought it, what I hoped for, and it just slightly missed the mark for me. However, the sizing was pretty true, and if you have a bust that aligns properly with the seaming in the dress, you may well end up liking it. The next item is a MAXI kimono. This is in the challis fabric, and the color says plaid, red, and blue. If you're interested, this kimono also comes in a hanky cut skirt that I will review either in this video or the next video. This is a perfect print for the summer season and for your possibly July 4th or Independence Day activities. Although the red, white, and blue is a classic combination. Challis fabric is a Torrid staple. It's a rayon with just a slight amount of stretch in it. This one was cut really well. It had a little bit of a collar. It had just a little bit of ruching at the sleeve, and the bottom flared out nicely, even though the top in the bust area was not particularly roomy. As I've mentioned now numerous times, I'm more of a 5'6" on top, not just a full size 6. And if you are in fact a true size 6 on your upper body, you might find that this doesn't close all the way across your bust, and it is pretty full length. I think on me it came down about to my ankle. I would guess that it's probably about 50 inches in length. The next item is a super cute pocket tee in the Heritage SLUB fabric. The color says mermaid green, and as you hopefully can see in the try on or in the photos, this does have a super cute embroidered mermaid on the pocket. I picked one of these up a couple years ago when I was going to Florida, and I absolutely destroyed it on the beach. So I was really glad to see another one come out. My last one was more of a minty green, and this one has a little more of a celery or a pistachio green. I absolutely love it. I know that Torrid's tees are typically not large enough to fit easily over my lower body, or certainly not roomy enough that I want to wear them untucked with a pair of jeans or a pair of leggings. But I was pleased to see that this one fit roomier than a lot of my other tees. I think it'll look super cute tucked in or knotted up with a black maxi skirt. I love that it is lightly sheer. I like the look of a slightly sheer t-shirt with a really bright neon bra underneath. I know I'm a little crazy like that. I found it to fit true to size, if not a little roomy, for Torrid t-shirts, even though I wish they had a size 6 that was truly a little boxier of a fit for us larger ladies. The next dress was a complete fail for me. It's the embroidered button front midi dress in challis fabric, and the color is white. The dress in person is absolutely stunning. I was pleased to see Torrid try a different pattern. They kind of have a Torrid look in a lot of their clothes. So this definitely departed from the traditional skater dress. However, I found myself wanting a lot more material in the lower body. I would say this fit closer to a size 5, or else you would have to be a very narrow built size 6, because the top and bottom proportions were just not working for me. I probably could have gotten this dress pulled down over my lower body, but it would have been busting the seams or busting the buttons loose, and I certainly didn't want to do that if I'm going to return it. This dress came with a full detached lining, and that's typical polyester material, which is not my favorite. This dress would be beautiful for a blessing, a christening, a wedding, or just a summer event, or just a summer nothing. You could very easily dress this down, dress it up. If you decide to give this dress a try, again, just keep in mind you might want to be very narrow built in the lower body proportionately, or be able to size up. I want to talk about the chunky zip sweater hoodie in the color lime. This was brought to my attention by a YouTube subscriber, so I immediately went out to look for what is this lime green sweater she's excited about. I hadn't seen it yet. This sweater is absolutely beautiful. In person, it is much nicer than I even imagined. It has a little bit of a waffle weave to it. It's a little heavy for a summer sweater, but to take out on a boat or for a nighttime cruise or drive around the block, or maybe you have a chilly night where you're out for a walk or watching fireworks, this could be a really comfortable layering piece. I was so impressed with the thickness and the softness of this sweater. It's the kind of knit that stretches really easily, so even though when I first tried it on it zipped, it was a little snug, but I was able to pull and stretch out the hip area really easily, and it actually kept its shape. This is one where you definitely do not need to size up, and I highly recommend. This one is the high neck tiered mini dress in chambray. The color is blue. This is more of a knee-length dress. I think it was probably about 41 inches or so. This one also I found to fit just a little bit small. Again, I recognize I'm on the larger end of a size 6, but comparing it to certain other items I have from Torrid, I think this still felt like it fit just a little slimmer than expected. I often run into that issue with tiered skirts or dresses anyway, that the tier hits at the widest part of my hip circumference, and this one definitely did. You'll see in the try on I try to show pulling the dress so you can kind of get a glimpse of how little excess room there is. The pockets are perilously close to being pulled out of place. The belt was pretty worthless, and on me it didn't add anything. I couldn't really flounce the top or the blouse part over the belt because there just wasn't enough excess material. And again, being more of a 5 or a 5'6" on top, I found this one to fit a little more close to the body than I expected. Just looking at this item from the website, it fit about how I expected, but I was still a little disappointed not to have a little more room. I think it could have been really cute. The next item is another dress that is a Torrid staple. This is the Fit and Flare dress in the super soft fabric. The color is red, and it is in fact a very vibrant, very bright, classic cherry red with a modest sleeve, a crew neckline. It's definitely a Fit and Flare as opposed to a skater dress because there's no waist seam. It just dips in and flares back out over the lower body. For a pear-shaped woman, this is a godsend and is Very what you might consider traditionally flattering. This one came in at about knee length on me, and I will definitely enjoy wearing this with bike shorts, with capris, with leggings, and with rolled up jeans and sandals. I would consider this true to size, although if you are quite large in your upper body compared to the rest of your build, you may want to size up, but I think the stretch in this would allow it to fit across a range of sizes. The next item up on my list is an off-shoulder dress in the same super soft knit. The color is black. This dress I had mixed feelings about. I kind of could tell by looking at it that it probably was going to be pretty straight cut. And in fact, it was a little more straight cut than I think even the pictures showed. I loved the top of it. The off-shoulder cut was not hugely oversized. So it did come across, but it kind of came to like the point where my shoulder and my arm meets, if I'm describing that well. So it didn't completely just like sag and fall down and show my entire arm. That was sized appropriately, I felt like, but the bottom was just really, really snug. I am definitely not straight cut, so I would consider this almost more of a bodycon fit. But if you are straight cut or you don't mind showing all of your curves in great detail, this might be something you really like. The fabric was great, no complaints with the length. It came down to about knee length, maybe a little less than knee length. I thought I might layer it with a couple things, but I just found it overall too constricting, and I have other things that I can layer that I prefer the fit of. The next dress was one of my bigger disappointments from this order. It is the button front maxi dress in jersey, striped black and white. This dress comes in a few different colorways, and it was kind of a mixed bag. So this dress, first of all, did not fit very well in the lower bodies. I'm sure you're seeing in the try-on. Now, I recognize that I am proportionately much larger in my lower body, so I knew this was a risk factor. What I did appreciate about this dress is that the first 5 snaps or so in the bust were functional. So you could actually fasten and unfasten the snaps if you wanted to reveal a little skin or maybe wear a tank or a bralette underneath. The snaps on the rest of the dress are in a real placket and they are real snaps, but underneath that it is sewn shut. So even though the dress was really, really tight in my lower body, and even when I sat down it pulled, it did not leave any gaping openings in between the snaps, which I think is a really, really clever design feature. Otherwise, I like the length of this dress. I liked the way the upper body fit. Certainly, I liked the fabric. Their jersey is very soft. And if you're comfortable with a more fitted look, or you can size up, or if you're more straight cut, then this definitely is something that I recommend. The next dress was also a little ill-fitted for me. It is the SURPLICE tie sleeve midi dress in Swiss dot rust color. The fabric was lovely. This dress was definitely midi length. I think I left my denim leggings on in the try-on, but it still had plenty of room in the lower body. It wasn't roomy in the lower body. If you're between sizes, I would suggest sizing up. If there was a size 7, I would have sized up for the bottom half, but the size 6 did still fit. It is not a true wrap. The inside seam was sewn shut where it wraps across in the skirt portion, and then the over piece laid across. That's kind of a double-edged sword in terms of, yes, it helps protect your vanity and your modesty a little bit if there's a gust of wind, which I appreciate. But that also means you don't get as much flexibility with the fit. So the crossover top was way oversized for what I expected. And as I mentioned, I'm a little smaller on top, so I knew that this could be the case. But as you'll see in the try-on, it was way too big in the bust. And I'm, for my size, probably just very average size in my bust. So I sometimes expect things to fit a little big. Maybe it'll need a pin or a snap added, but that would absolutely be 100% required if I kept this to wear, or I'd have to wear a cami underneath. Again, the fabric on this was really nice. It felt like a rayon. If it has stretch in it at all, it's just the kind that will keep the seams from busting. It's not really the kind that allows you to have very much flexibility in the fit. So if, as I said, if you are between sizes, I'd suggest sizing up. If you also are on the larger end of a size 6 in your lower body, you may want to skip this one, or at least not be surprised if it doesn't fit. The next item I tried is the wide leg pants in Crepe Ink Dot Plaid Black. That's a long way of saying that it's a black and white print. These pants fit a little better than I expected. Even though they're in crepe and they have just a teeny tiniest bit of stretch, this is a definite trouser that I would be able to wear to work even on a dress-up day, but you certainly could wear them casually if you wanted. It has a button and zip closure, and I was, again, really impressed with the fit considering that I'm on the larger end of a size 6 or a size 30. I could see these pants being something where other ladies say they need to size down. My issue was similar to a lot of other Torrid pants and trousers, that they just were extremely long. These pants are nice enough and comfortable enough that if I didn't already have a ton of clothes and workwear, I definitely would keep these and get them altered, but I just don't need them. So they are going to get returned, but are definitely something that I recommend, especially if you are on the larger end of a size 6 like me and you need that extra space.